If you cannot control these four things, you will never be a king. Not in your home, not in your circle, not even in your own mind. Because power does not collapse from opposition, it collapses from within, through lack of control. You have been taught to trust loyalty. That is your first mistake. Loyalty is not a principle, it is a transaction. It exists only as long as it remains profitable. The friend who praises you today measures you. The ally who stands beside you calculates you. And the moment you become a liability, they will detach quietly, efficiently, without remorse. You call this betrayal, but betrayal is simply the removal of illusion. The world is not held together by trust. It is held together by self-interest. Understand this. And something uncomfortable happens, your enemies become easier to predict than your friends. An enemy declares intent. A friend conceals it. An enemy studies you to defeat you. A friend studies you to benefit from you. Only one of them is honest about their purpose. This is the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And if that unsettles you, then you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to the 1%. Here illusions are not comforted, they are dismantled. Here, human nature is not softened, it is exposed. Here, power is not romanticized, it is understood. You will not be taught how to feel better. You will be taught how to see clearly, to recognize false loyalty before it costs you, to think strategically when others react emotionally, and to turn weakness into leverage and pressure into control. Because the difference between the masses and the few is not opportunity, it is perception. Most people look at the world and see what they want to believe. A small percentage sees what is actually there, and they act accordingly. If you remain blind, you will be used. If you hesitate, you will be replaced. If you lack control, you will be ruled, whether you notice it or not. So understand this before we go further. Power is not given, it is taken, and then maintained through discipline most people cannot endure. And what comes next will force you to confront something even more dangerous. Not the people around you, but the parts of yourself that make you easy to control. If you are not prepared to lose your illusions, leave now. Because the truth you are about to hear is one most people are too weak to survive. Niccolò Machiavelli says, you assume that people around you are loyal. They are not. They are aligned. For now, that distinction is where most men lose power. A friend does not stand beside you because of who you are. He stands beside you because, at this moment, it serves him. Change the conditions, and you will watch his loyalty evaporate without warning. Pressure reveals this, success accelerates it, and envy completes it. You think betrayal is rare. It is not. It is simply delayed until it becomes profitable. Now, look closer. Your enemies behave differently. They do not pretend, they do not reassure, and they do not hide behind affection. They oppose you openly, and in doing so, they offer you something your friends never will: clarity. An enemy shows you where you stand. A friend forces you to guess. One is dangerous, the other is deceptive, and deception is harder to defend against. So ask yourself carefully, are you surrounded by loyalty or by temporary agreements waiting to expire? Here's Machiavelli logic. Human behavior is not complex. It is driven by one force, self-interest. Not loyalty, not love, not principle, self-interest. Everything else is decoration. A man remains loyal only as long as loyalty benefits him more than betrayal. The moment that balance shifts, so does he. This is why emotional loyalty is unstable. Emotion fluctuates, circumstances change, opportunities appear, and when they do, emotion becomes irrelevant. But opposition is different. An enemy does not fluctuate. He does not need to pretend. His position is fixed against you. That makes him predictable, and predictability is control. Now, consider power. Power is not built on what people say, it is built on what they are willing to do when it costs them. Most people fail here. They listen to words, trust tone, and believe consistency in comfort equals loyalty in pressure. It does not. The man who laughs with you today may calculate your replacement tomorrow, not because he hates you, but because it benefits him. Remove emotion from your observation, and this becomes obvious. Keep emotion, and you will miss it every time. Those who understand power do not trust blindly. They observe, they measure, and they prepare. A man who trusts his friends without question hands them access to his weaknesses, not intentionally, but inevitably. Familiarity lowers defense, and lower defense invites exploitation. The powerful avoid this. They do not confuse closeness with safety, and they do not assume loyalty where incentive has not been tested. Instead, they study motives. Every action is examined through one question, spot. What does this person gain? Not what they say, not how they feel, what they gain. Now, most people waste energy resisting them emotionally. This is inefficient. An enemy is not an obstacle, he is a source of information. He reveals how you are perceived, where you are vulnerable, and what threatens others about your position. Study him correctly, and he becomes useful. Ignore him, and he becomes dangerous. The difference is not in the enemy, it is in your awareness. Control is not about eliminating opposition, it is about understanding it so completely that it loses its advantage. Imagine this. You build something: status, influence, momentum. A friend stands beside you from the beginning. He supports you, encourages you, and speaks well of you. You trust him, not because you tested him, but because he was there. Then, an opportunity appears, a position opens, a deal emerges, a chance to advance. But only one can take it. Now watch closely. He does not attack you. He does something quieter. He withholds information, positions himself subtly, and aligns with others behind your back, not out of hatred, but out of advantage. And when the moment arrives, he steps forward. You call it betrayal. He calls it progress. Now consider your enemy. He opposed you from the start. He questioned you, challenged you, and attempted to block your growth. You knew his position. You watched him. You anticipated his moves. So when he acted, you were ready. He failed, not because he was weaker, but because he was predictable. The friend succeeded because you never thought to defend against him. That is the difference. Machiavelli deep truth. This is the part most people refuse to accept. The more you rely on loyalty, the more exposed you become. Because loyalty encourages you to relax, to trust, to assume, and assumption is where control is lost. Those who rise do not depend on friendship. They understand it, they use it, but they do not rely on it. They build systems, not bonds, awareness, not comfort. This creates a contradiction most cannot handle. To maintain power, you must operate among people without depending on them. You must engage without attachment. Trust selectively. Doubt consistently. Not out of paranoia, but out of precision. Because the moment you need loyalty to survive, you have already lost control. The code of the 1%. If you intend to operate above the masses, you will follow rules they avoid, not because they are difficult, but because they are uncomfortable. Trust actions, never words. Words are tools. Actions are commitments. Keep emotional distance, even with allies. Closeness clouds judgment. Distance preserves clarity. Study your enemies carefully. They expose truth without disguise. Never depend on loyalty where self-interest is at stake. Instead, design situations where alignment benefits them more than betrayal. Observe shifts closely. The moment someone's benefit changes, their behavior will follow. These are not suggestions. They are conditions. Ignore them, and you will be surprised. Repeatedly follow them, and very little will surprise you again, but even this is only the surface. Understanding friends and predicting enemies, that is basic control. The real power begins when you recognize something more subtle. The greatest vulnerability is not in others, but in what they can trigger within you. Because manipulation does not start with them. It starts with your reactions. And what controls that is something most people never learn to master. Trust is fragile, opposition is revealing, and power belongs to the one who understands both, without being ruled by either. Most people will hear this and reject it, not because it is false, but because it is uncomfortable. They prefer loyalty, even when it blinds them. They prefer trust, even when it weakens them. Because comfort is easier than awareness, and comfort keeps them predictable. Predictable people are easy to read, easy to influence, easy to control. This is why they remain where they are, not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to see clearly. Now you do. You see that loyalty is conditional, that opposition is informative, that behavior is driven by advantage, not emotion. This changes how you move, how you observe, how you respond, and once you see it, you cannot return to ignorance. Which is why this path is not for everyone. Most will hear this and continue as they are. A few will recognize its value immediately. Fewer will apply it, and only a fraction will master it. That fraction is the 1%. If you understand what has been said here, you already know what to do next. Access to this level of thinking is not common, and it is not meant to be. Remain where you are, or step into it deliberately. The choice will reveal more about you than any words you speak, because in the end, it is not your enemies who limit you.